The sky over Europe was calm, but war was never silent. It was early morning, and cold clouds covered the battlefield below. German Luftwaffe pilot Karl Weiss prepared his Messerschmitt for another routine patrol. He had flown dozens of missions and feared nothing in the sky. Enemy fighters were predictable, and bombers were slow targets. Karl believed the air belonged to the Luftwaffe. The engine roared as his aircraft climbed higher into the clouds. Below him, cities burned quietly from last night's bombing. His radio crackled with distant voices, reporting light enemy movement. Karl smiled, confident and relaxed. This mission felt easy, almost boring. Suddenly, his radar operator shouted. A fast-moving signal appeared on the screen. It was too heavy to be a fighter and too fast to be a bomber. Karl adjusted his altitude, trying to locate the unknown aircraft. Then he saw it. A massive aircraft burst through the clouds above him. It was huge, heavy, and terrifyingly fast. The plane dove straight down like a falling mountain of steel. Karl's eyes widened in disbelief. "No aircraft that heavy can move like that," he whispered. The speed meter jumped past 500 miles per hour. The aircraft screamed through the air like a missile. This was no ordinary fighter. This was something new, something impossible. Karl tried to follow, but his Messerschmitt shook violently. The enemy aircraft vanished below in seconds. His hands trembled on the controls. For the first time in the war, Karl felt fear. The sky he trusted no longer obeyed known rules. He reported the sighting to command, but even they were confused. Back at base, pilots laughed nervously at his story. They said he must have imagined it. But Karl knew what he saw. That night, he could not sleep. The image of that 7-ton monster haunted his dreams. He realized the war in the air had just changed forever. And this was only the beginning. Days passed, but the strange aircraft returned. More Luftwaffe pilots began reporting the same terrifying sight. A heavy fighter diving faster than anything in the sky. The enemy aircraft attacked suddenly and disappeared instantly. German formations broke apart in panic. Bombers lost protection and fell from the sky. Karl was ordered to hunt this mysterious aircraft. He studied every report, every shadow in the clouds. The aircraft was identified as a new Allied heavy fighter. It weighed nearly 7 tons and defied all expectations. On his next mission, Karl spotted it again. The massive fighter approached from above, silent and deadly. Then it dove. The sound alone shook the sky. Karl pulled hard on the stick, chasing it downward. His plane screamed in protest. Warning lights flashed. He was flying beyond safe limits. The enemy aircraft fired once. A single burst tore through Karl's wing. Metal ripped apart like paper. Karl barely regained control. Smoke filled the cockpit. He realized this aircraft was not just fast. It was built to kill. As he limped back to base, fear spread across the Luftwaffe. Pilots no longer felt superior. They felt hunted. German engineers tried to match the speed. Designs failed. Engines exploded. Time was running out. Karl knew the truth. The Allies had mastered the sky, and Germany was falling behind. Each mission became more dangerous. Each dive from the clouds felt like death itself. The once proud Luftwaffe was losing control of the air. The war was no longer about courage. It was about technology. And Germany was losing. The final mission came during a massive Allied bombing raid. The sky was filled with smoke, fire, and chaos. Karl launched one last time, knowing this might be his final flight. Above him, bombers marched like steel giants. And above them, the 7-ton fighters waited. Karl attacked with everything he had. Bullets tore through the air. Explosions shook the clouds. Then it happened again. The heavy fighter dove straight at him. Faster than fear. Faster than thought. Karl tried to escape, but there was nowhere to run. The enemy aircraft roared past at 550 miles per hour. A single strike ended the fight. Karl's plane spun out of control. The sky faded into silence. As he ejected, he understood the truth. The age of German air dominance was over. The sky now belonged to the future. Below him, the war continued without mercy. Technology had rewritten the rules of combat. Karl survived the fall, but not the war. Germany surrendered months later. The Luftwaffe legend ended in fire and smoke, and the 7-ton fighter became a symbol of how innovation decides history. Because in war, the one who controls the sky, controls the world.